Hello everyone, I am Nirmal and welcome to my new blog. So today we discuss about wage and salary administration part 2. So to the management, control constitutes the central problem in wage and salary administration. So control in wage and salary administration involves the evaluation of the sufficiency and efficiency of the solution reached on the total expenses problem. So the management has to control both payroll and labor cost, and also has to be realized that the value in return of wage bill is more important than the wage bill itself. Now, more specifically, control in wage and salary administration involves evaluation of achievements in many areas, including the following. Now, we discuss about this: whether the total wage bill constitutes a specified proportion of the sales, whether the pay for job is within the range set up for them, whether efficient employees on the payroll are being maintained, whether the general level of wages is in tune with conditions of labor market, whether individual wage and salaries are worked out on a consistent basis. Control also demands creations of standards for comparing the efficacy of the practices in every phase of wage and salary administration, including wage bill, forecast, basic rates, rate ranges, and wage and salary data in the community and the industry. So, the however, in India, recent amendments in income tax law have brought a number of fringe benefits under the coverage of taxation. As a result, the advantage of available to this class of personnel through the availability of fringe benefits have materially declined. So, despite these limitation, lucrative schemes of performance-based remunerations and rewards for these categories of personnel have been adopted in most of the competing industrial organizations. So, the compensation for executives and managerial personnel. Now we discuss about this. The problem of remuneration and executives and managerial and personnel is not generally tackled in a planned and systematic manner. This has been in contrast to more or less careful attention to the pay problems of workers. Efforts have been made to design pay plans for them in such a way so as to offset the effects of progressive income tax. On way for satisfying these groups has been providing them with substantial fringe benefits not coming under the purview of the income tax law. Now, the methods of wage payment. Generally, there are two principal methods of wage payment. These are as follows. Now, I discuss about these. Number one, payment on the basis of time, such as by the hour, day, week, or month time rate, and payment on the basis of output, that is, by piece products, piece rate in a particular organizations. Either or both may be used depending on the arrangement of work and consist or consent of the parties where incentive schemes are in operations. There are a problem of selecting the most suitable of these, or a system combining both may be adopted. Now, now we discuss about wage fixations for individual employees. So the setting of wage structure and determination of the level of wages involve pricing of various jobs. So very often problem arises as to whether all the employees employed on the same job should be paid the same wage. Payment of the same wage to all employees employed on the same job may lead to dissatisfaction among efficient and senior employees in the organizations. So the problem is generally sought to be solved in two ways. The first is the adoption of incentive system or performance based remuneration. Another method is that of setting up wages ranges, a starting range or rate, a standard and a maximum rate for individuals on the same job. In such a case, procedures have to be devised for enabling individuals to move through the ranges. Now, we discuss about the wage and salary structure. So, wage and salaries paid to employees on different jobs within an organization constitute an important field of compensation. So, many organizations work out the wage structure on the basis of job evaluation. So, the main concern of the management is to prevent wage inequities and correct anomalies where as necessary. So during more recent years, especially after the advent of globalizations and emergence of highly competitive product market, managements have to give serious attention to remunerating different categories of employees on the basis of their performance and productivity. So, setting of wage and salary structure by the management also involves the problem of strategic decisions regarding various components of wages. In many organizations, the wage structure is based on collective agreement, industrial award, core decisions, or wage board recommendations. In this case, the freedom of management to work out the wage structure for its organizations is severely curtailed. So now we discuss about the wage and salary level. So an important field of compensation is the wage and salary level in organizations. So problems in this area are directly related to the conditions of labor market. If the level of wages and salaries is too low, there will be the problem of attracting and maintaining a competent workforce. So there may be also be difficulties in compiling with statutory rates of wage or wages or those awarded by tribunals and courts, and also the rates arrived at as results or bargaining. On the contrary, if the level of wage and salary is too high, the competitive positions of the undertaking in the product market will deteriorate. So, thus, setting on an appropriate level of wages and salaries called for a careful considerations of several factors such as market conditions, governmental policies and regulations, prevailing level of wages in comparable employment, collective bargaining and union wages policy, and management's approach towards proper wage and salary level also. Now, we discuss about the wage and salary administration problem. That is the main thing. So, wage and salary administration involves consideration of various interests such as those of employers or employees, government, and society at large. So the employer is interested in securing a satisfactory level of output in tune with the remuneration paid to his employees. So establishing standard wages for standard occupations, adjusting wages to changes in the market, maintaining equity in wage relatives, and rewarding efficient employees through incentives or performance based remunerations, and providing effective agreements for dealing with compensation issues also. So a sound compensation policy may also contribute to achieving certain social objectives by ensuring more equitable compensation. So, reduction of wages exploitation and satisfying employees' ambition. The interest of the employer may not be in conformity with those of the employees and their union. So, difficulties may also have to be encountered in ensuring compliance with government policy in the field. In balancing the many conflicting considerations, organization's goal may appear controlling, but over any significant period they probably cannot be allowed to conflict with socially prescribed objectives. These problems of establishing a balance between employers' interest and those of other are manifest in various areas of compensation. The more notable of these are described right now. So we are discussing right now the major functions of such committee are though the for wage and salary administration. So approval and or recommendations to management on job evaluations, methods and findings, review and recommendations of basic wage and salary structure, help in the formulation of wage policies from time to time, coordinations and review of relative departmental rates to ensure conformity and review of budget estimates for wage and salary adjustments and increases. This committee should be supported by the advice of the technical staff. Such staff committees may be for job evaluation also, job descriptions, merit rating, wage and salary surveys in an industry. So, and for a review of present wage rates, procedure and policies also. So, alternatively, the overall plan is the first prepared by the personnel manager in organizations in consultations and discussion with senior members of their department. It is then submitted for final approval of the top executives once he has given his approval for the wage and salary structure and the rule for administration. Its implementation become a joint effort of all heads of the departments also. The actual appraisal of the performance of subordinates is carried out by the various managers who in turn submit their recommendations to higher authorities and the latter in turn to the personnel department. So the personnel department ordinarily reviews recommendations to ensure compliance with established rules of administrations. In unusual cases of serious disagreement, the president makes the final decisions in organizations. So now we discuss about the pay commissions. This is another institute or institutions which revises the wages and allowances to the employees working in government and government departments. Pay commissions are separately constituted by central and state government, and pay commissions, central government so far has appointed 4 pay commissions. Now need for incentives or improvement in productivity, etc. So the wage board fixes and revises the various components of wages like basic pay, dearness allowances, incentive wages, earning, overtime, pay, house rent, allowance and all other allowances. Now, the need for incentives also improvement in productivity, place of industry in the economy and society of the country and the region, government's objectives regarding social justice, social equality, economic justice and economic quality also, existing level of wage differentials and their desirability, various wage legislations, firms' ability to pay, employees' productivity, wage rates for similar jobs in comparable industries, job evaluations also. So now we discuss about wage board. So this is one of the important institutions set up by the government of India for fixations and revisions of wages. So separate wage boards are set up for separate industries also. So government of India started instituting wage boards in accordance with the recommendations of second 5-year plan, which were reiterated by the third 5-year plan. So wage board are not governed by any legislations but are appointed on ad hoc basis by the government. So each wage board consists of one of the neutral chairman, two independent members, and 2 or 3 representatives of co-workers and management each. The wage boards have to study various factors before making its recommendations. So the recommendations of the wage board are first referred to the government for its acceptance. The government may accept with or without modifications or reject the recommendations of the wage board. So the recommendations accepted by the government are enforceable by the parties concerned. Now we discuss about the government legislations. So the government legislation influences wage determinations also. So the two important legislations which affect wage fixations are Payment of Wage Act 1993, 1936, and the Minimum Wage Act 1948. So the important provisions of the Payment of Wage Act 1936 are ensuring proper payment of wages and avoiding all malpractices like non-payments, underpayments, delayed and irregular payment, and payment in kind and under measurement of work. So the act covers all employees drawing the wage up to rupees 1000 per month. The act stipulates that the organizations with less than 100 workers should pay the wage by the 7th, and the organizations with more than 100 employees should pay by the 10th of the next month. So the act also stipulates time for payment of dues to the discharged employees. Under the act, fines can be levied by after due notices to the employees also, and the fine deductions are restricted to 1/32 of wages. So the important provision of the Minimum Wage Act 1948 are the act seeks to protect the workers from underpayment of wages for their efforts also. It presented the guidelines for the fixations of minimum wages, which is just sufficient to meet the basic needs of workers and to keep a man's body and soul together. So statutory minimum wages is determined according to the procedures prescribed by the relevant provisions of Act. The Act provides for fixing of number 1, minimum wage in certain employments, number 2, minimum time rates, number 3, minimum pieces rates, number 4, guaranteed time rate, number 5, overtime rate, number 6, basic pay and DA. The Act also provides for provisions or revisions of minimum wage at fixed intervals also. So now we discuss about the productivity. So an interesting development in wage determination has been productivity standard. So this is based on the fact that productivity increase is also the result of employee satisfaction and contribution
to the organizations, but wage productivity linkage does not appear to so easy since many problems crop up in respect of the concept and measurement of productivity. But although the wage are not linked directly to the productivity in an organization's changes in productivity have their impact on remunerations. So the criteria and received considerations of wage boards not only because it constituted a factor in the fixations of fair wage but also because it was directly related to such questions as desirability of extending the system of payment by result. Now, union pressure and strategies. Wages are also often influenced by the strength of unions. So their bargaining capacity and their strategy also. So Arthur M. Ross concluded that real hourly earning have advanced more sharply in highly organized industries than in less unionized industries. So unions pressurize management through their collective bargaining strategies, political tactics, and by organizing strike, etc. So trade unions' influences may be on the grounds of wage in comparable industries, firms, financial positions, rising living cost, government regulations, etc. It may be noted here that the unions may have the wage raised particularly in those industries where the wage level is below that the other comparable industries. So that's for my video, my friends. Thanks a lot for watching my videos.